Hey, good afternoon, friends. Welcome to the Hobby Homestead. My name's Heather. If you're new, I ask that you hit that like and that subscribe button. Today, we're going to be working on homemade bread. The bread recipe I'm doing yields 4 loaves, but I think I might cut it in half and only make 2 loaves at a time, being that my children are the only ones in the house who really eat bread. On occasions, I will eat a little bit, and my husband doesn't eat carbs. So get ready as we go along and making our bread today. So if you wanted to, you could double this recipe, but I'm only going to make a single batch for yields 2 loaves because my children are the only ones who eat bread. So we're going to start out with 2.5 cups of lukewarm water. And I am using my KitchenAid. If you don't have a KitchenAid, I mean, you can use your hands and do it how they did it back in the day, where you just mix it in a bowl with your hands, and then use your counter. But we will at the end, when I go to make my loaves, I will at the end knead my dough on the counter. That way I get the kneading process and the gluten forming coming on. Um, so to my 2.5 cups of water, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of honey. You can use sugar, but I don't like to use sugar in my house. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons of honey into our water. Alrighty, so I'm going to use organic honey. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons. And I'm using honey in place of the sugar. I have to get out my other bottle until I thaw this one up. Not thaw until I uncrystallize this one. So let me get the other one out. And I do like to use pure raw honey. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons. So there's one. There's two. And into that, we're going to do 2 teaspoons of salt. And then after we put the salt, we're going to go ahead and put the yeast. And then we're going to let that sit in our mixer until it starts forming a nice bubbly consistency. And that just shows that your yeast is active. Okay, so we're going to add our 2 teaspoons of salt. And salt is preference, just whatever salt you like. I'm just using Redmond's real salt. And then you need 2 tablespoons of active dry yeast. So that's just going to be one of my packs here. Okay, so after you put your active dry yeast in, you want to attach your dough hook attachment. And I'm going to mix this. And then I'm going to let it sit here until it starts to foam and get bubbly. And when it gets foam and when it foams and bubbles, that means it's ready, and that means my yeast is active. Okay, so after your mixture gets bubbly, you know your yeast is active, you add 2.5 tablespoons of olive oil. And then you're going to want to mix in 5 to 6 cups. You can use whatever flour you want, but I'm using bread flour. People use all-purpose flour. It's just preference. But I'm only going to add in 1 cup at a time and let that incorporate slowly. I find that if I add in 1 cup at a time, the texture turns out really nice. It's not so stiff. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna allow this to mix. And what you want to happen is you want your dough to start pulling away for the bowl nice and cleanly. When it starts pulling away for the bowl nice and cleanly, that way, that's when you know that your dough is ready to be set up to rise. So I'm gonna let my dough knead for 8 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on a timer for 8 minutes. And if need be, I can put another cup of flour in here because I only put 5 cups in. And the recipe calls for 5 to 6 cups. Which I can already tell by looking at it. Shut it down. I can already tell by looking at it that it's going to probably need that other cup because it's still looking mighty wet. I'm going to go ahead and put my other cup in. And to keep your mess contained, you can put a towel over top. That way the flour doesn't go everywhere. Okay, so now we're going to let this dough knead for 8 minutes. After 8 minutes, we will put it in a well-greased bowl, which I'm probably, because this has a lid, I'm probably just going to go ahead and grease up this bowl so I don't have to dirty up another one and go ahead and put it in here. So as you can see, my dough pulled away for the bowl. Still got 3.5 minutes, so it's going to knead yet. And after those 3.5 minutes, we're going to go ahead and take the dough out of this bowl. We're going to go ahead and grease up this bowl. And then we're going to put the lid on it. Because my bowl has a lid, I'm going to go ahead and use this bowl right here. We're almost done. Okay, that's our timer. Now that it's been 8 minutes, we're going to go ahead and shut this off, unlock it. I'm going to go ahead and pull my thread attachment off and pull all the dough off my hook. And you can add oil to your hands if you want, or flour. That way you don't get the sticking to your hands and stuff. But to me, it's okay. Okay, so to my bowl, I'm going to go ahead and grease up this bowl. That way we don't dirty up another bowl. And that's because this bowl does have a lid. After you grease up your bowl, go ahead and put my dough back in here. And then I'm going to let my dough rise for 30 minutes. We're going to come in, check it, and see if it's doubled in size. If it has not doubled in size, then we'll let it rise for another 30 minutes. After that, it should have doubled in size. Then we'll take a look at it. And then we'll end up punching it down and doing a second rise on it. All right, friends. So dough has doubled in size. Take this lid off. What you want to do is you want to punch it down. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let this do a second rise. And then after our second rise, we'll go ahead and get it into our loaf pans. And then we'll let it rise again from there. Well, after we get into the loaf pan. So about another hour or so, we'll have bread ready to go into the oven to go with tonight's dinner. Okay, friends. So as we got our second rise done, I took my bread pans and some people use grease. I like to use butter on mine. So I like the crust that the butter gives my bread. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flour my surface. And then I'm gonna go ahead and knead my dough by hand and get it formed in the loaf shapes and get them put in the pans and get them ready to rise for the final rise. And then we'll put them in the oven to cook. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and flour my hands up. Go ahead and get all this dough. And the texture is a wonderful texture. I mean, it's not too sticky. I think my texture is perfect. I'm gonna split my dough in half. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull towards me, fold in half, turn long ways, pull towards me, fold in half, turn long ways again, pull towards me, fold in half. Then now I'm gonna take the last edge I folded in half and I'm gonna pinch it on the other side. I'm gonna take my bread pan and I'm gonna let it sit in here and rise for 30 more minutes. So let's go ahead and get this last roll done. Alrighty, friend. Put my last loaf in here. And then what I'm gonna do is you're gonna set your bread in a warm spot. I'm gonna set mine on my stove. Then I'm gonna cover it with a towel. And I'm gonna let it rise for 30 minutes or until it doubles in size. After it doubles in size, I'm gonna set my temp on my oven to 350 degrees and we will cook it at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. So as we wait for the final rise on our dough, I'm gonna go ahead and get my kitchen tidy back up. I'm gonna get my dishes done. I'm gonna have my teenage son come up and put dishes away. Because in my home, if I'm cooking and I'm preparing all your meals and I'm doing your laundry and stuff, I just ask that you do a couple of chores. And his chores are the dishes, just dry and put them away, and to keep his room tidy and to put his laundry away after I have folded it for him. So that's just the rules in my house. So yeah, and plus he owns his own business, so he does his own job as well. But yeah, I just try to teach my kids the right way. So we will be back in 30 minutes after that rises to take a look and see if it's ready. If not, we'll let it rise a little bit longer. All right, friends. So now that we let our bread rise, we're going to see if it's ready to put in the oven. So what you do is you push. See how the indent stayed? That means our bread is at full capacity of how big it's going to stretch. So that means it is ready to be put in the oven. So we're going to put our bread in the oven at 350 degrees. And we're going to let it bake for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, we will check and see if it is ready to come out. So there it is in the oven. Can't wait to try this. All right, friends. So let's check this bread and see how we're doing here. Oh, wow. Alrighty, friends. So we're going to check on our bread here. We did have to move it down because some reason my rack was all the way to the top. I think my husband might have did that over the weekend. I didn't catch it. So my bread temp needs to be at 180 degrees. And we're at 113. So we're going to let it cook for a little bit longer. It's looking good. Okay, so now what we are going to do. What's up, dude? We are going to put some butter on top of our bread. Because I like the flavor and the texture it gives my bread as it cooks.
Don't you burn your hand on that iron.
Now we're going to close this back up and let it cook just a little bit longer.
Oh yeah, we vlogging up in this joint.
Okay, son. So when it comes to bread, what would you rather have? Store-bought or mine?
Store-bought.
Really?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So you want me to go buy you a loaf of bread from the store?
No, that stuff's nasty. It's not crunchy.
Oh, you like the crunch?
Yeah, and it don't. It's like nasty. Doesn't taste that good. Give this recipe a try. Like, follow, subscribe. Yeah, already.
Thanks, son.
Hold on. Do it now. Get in the mic. On today's vlog episode, what are we doing? Checking the temperature.
Yes. What, 170? We need to be at 180.
We're actually at 152.
It goes down when you take it out. The bread goes.
Okay.
Let your son get a hold of your stuff. You know, this is what he does.
Yep. All mic'd up and everything.
So, my son, Mr. Junior, wanted to help his mom out.
Yep. How you turn this joint off so I don't
Hit cancel off. There you go. How's your bread look?
Very good, mate. Oh, hold on. Give me a mic. Get mic'd up. Yep. We're good? All right. We're about to pull my mama's bread out because she got 5-pound weight limit. And this is like 100-pound of bread here. Right on cutting board. That's one. That's one. Number 2. Oh man. Right on with you.
Can you tell them what you're gonna do next?
I don't know what they're doing next.
So we want to take them out of this pan.
Yeah,
So you want to take a butter knife and go around the edges.
Go around the edges. Oh man, I don't know how to do this crap. All right, y'all. She's going around the edges. Here. You
ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead and pull your bread off.
This is my bare mint.
Oh boy.
Oh man, that's hot. Gee. All right. That's one. Freaking got real man hands. That's 2.
What do you want me to do?
Huh? No, I'm gonna cut it.
Oh, you want a slice?
Yeah. All right, you ready?
You that excited?
Nope. Nah, I'm just kidding. Nah, right down the middle.
No, on the edge.
Okay.
It's bread that's gonna last you guys for the week, so get your piece off the edge.
For the week?
For a week?
Oh, for a day?
Oh God, you torment my bread. Never
Sure.
let your kid.
Man, that's hot. I need it cool. Hold on. Take two. Video still no. Hot. Huh.
Suck it up, buttercup. Right? What are you trying here, son?
All right, take two. It's too hot 2 minutes ago. Not even like 2 seconds ago. From that bread. Close up action. Y'all can't have this bread because it's my bread. And it's hot. Hang on.
It just come out of the oven.
That's some good stuff. If you're a man, you're watching this, better make your wife make you some of this. Tell you what.
He's my son, though.
Yeah, obviously, Gomer. But still.
How long is it gonna last you?
Oh,
A week?
one day.
You better get some of that good peach jelly we made out and put on it.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
You like it plain, huh?
Don't need no additives.
He'll eat the whole loaf of bread within
No,
one day.
No, I won't. Take three. Oh. The whole thing's gonna be gone.
All right, friends, well, there you have it. My bread is once again kid approved. My son loves when I make bread. He always yells at me that I make too much bread because she'll go through them 2 loaves within 3 days. But I also make French toast and everything with it. But we're going to end today with the Bible verse from Philippians 4:19. And it says, "My God will richly fill your every need in a glorious way through Jesus Christ." Just know that if you are struggling, doesn't matter if it's financially, mentally, emotionally, turn to God and lay out your struggles to Him. He will help you. He is always right beside you. Just know that you're never alone. Because I tell you what, there's a lot of times that I feel overwhelmed and I get overstimulated myself. And as parents, we get that way quite often. And my husband is always telling me, honey, go to your Bible. Go read your Bible. It will help. Turn to God and talk to Him. And it does help, and sometimes I do stray away. We're all not perfect. But just remember, God is always with you. He's always right next to you. But until next time, friend, I hope you have a very blessed day.